Welcome. This video will show you how to do simple calculations in Excel. To perform any sort of calculation in Excel, the first thing you do is select the cell that you want the calculation to go into. Cells are found at the intersection of a row. For example, I'm in row 1 at the moment, as indicated by this highlighted one, and a column. I'm in column A, as indicated by the highlighting on the letter A. The intersection of that is a cell. So the second step is to press the equal sign on your keyboard. The equal sign means that you're entering a formula. The next thing is to enter the first number of your calculation. For example, if we wanted to add 2 and 3 together, we'd enter 2. Then we enter the operator, or the thing that we're doing. Like if we're adding, we enter plus. If we would be subtracting, we would enter minus. If we were multiplying, we would enter an asterisk. The asterisk is Excel's code for multiplying. If you wanted to divide, you enter this backslash. In our case, we just want to add two numbers together, so we enter plus. And then we enter the second number, and then we either press enter or tab. I'm just going to press enter. So the answer displays in that cell. So 2 plus 3 equals 5. Similarly, if you want to do another one, because 5 minus 2, press enter, and the answer displays. Now that is one way of doing a calculation in Excel. However, it is not the recommended way. I'm just going to go to another sheet. We're going to look at another example. If we have some numbers already in our spreadsheet, for example, we've got a cost price and we've got a selling price. If we want to do a calculation using those two numbers, for example, to work out the difference between the selling price and the cost price to give us our profit, we would put the equal sign. Now, instead of entering $2 in the equation, I'm going to simply click on the cell that's got the number that I want. So I'm going to click on C2. Then I do my operation that I want to do. In this case, I want to subtract, so I put the minus sign in. And then I click on the next cell that I want to use in my calculation. In this case, B2. And then I press enter as before. So let's just go back and see what we've done. Put an equal sign. We've put the cell reference for the first number, then the minus sign, and then the cell reference for the second number, and then we pressed enter. And Excel looks at the numbers that are in C2. That's $2, and it subtracts the one in B2. That's $1, give us $1. Some advantages of pointing to cells rather than entering numbers is it's much easier to copy the same sort of formula to other cells. Another advantage is, what happens if the cost price changes to $1.10, for instance? We just need to update the cost price and the profit will be automatically updated. Let's just do that now. So the cost price is now $1.10, and you'll see that our profit has been automatically calculated at 90 cents now. We do not need to go back and change the formula in cell D2 to take into account that B2 has changed. Now let's have a look at how we could copy this formula down to the other rows that we've got. One way is just to do copy and paste. So if we right mouse click a cell, at the top you'll see a copy command. So we copy it, then we select the cells that we want to copy it into. So I'm going to select the next 4 cells just by clicking and dragging my mouse. Then we can right mouse click again. We've got a whole lot of different paste options, but just choose the first one. And you'll see that the cells are automatically updated with the result of that formula. Now there are some other ways of doing it. I'm just going to delete these values. My favorite way is actually just going to the bottom right hand corner of a cell, and you'll notice that the cursor changed from a big white cross with a border around it to a thin black one. Now you can either drag this with your mouse to the cells that you want, like that, or you can simply double click it. When you double click it, it will copy it down until it gets to an empty row in the previous column. Now I'd like to show you another example. If you're in a situation where you want to calculate the discount on something, say we wanted to give someone a special customer a 10% discount, the way that we calculate the discount, we use the equal sign. We can click on the selling price in the previous column. We're going to use the asterisk for multiplying, and then we're going to click on our percentage discount. If we press enter now, it's going to work out our discount on the first one. If we copy that formula down, you'll see that there's a problem with our formulas, and we get hash values, which means that Excel's come across a problem or an error. If we have a look what's happened, in cell D4 we've got, it wants to multiply C4, which is what we want, and then it wants to multiply by D2. See, when we copied this formula down, originally we were telling it to look 2 columns above for its answer, which happened to be 10%. When we copied that formula down, it was still looking at 2 columns above. Now, as we copied down, that 2 columns obviously shifted down as the formula was copied down. But that is not actually what we want in this situation. What we actually want is for it to keep referring to the first row, D1. I'll show you how to do that now. I'm just going to delete what we've done. So let's go back to our formula. The way that we tell Excel to keep looking at the same row is to put a $ in front of the row number. Now you'll see that the row number is 1, so if we put a $ in front of it, it's not saying that it's worth $1. This $ is not about currency. This $ is a code in Excel that says let's hold whatever is in front of that constant. Let's not change it. Let's freeze it. When we do that, we copy that formula down. Let's have a look at our formula in the next row down. You'll see it's doing C4, and it's still looking at that first row, which is what we want in this case. Now there are times when you may want to freeze the column. In that case, you put the $ in front of the column. And there are times that you want to freeze both the column and the row so that you're always looking at the same cell each time. In this case, we could have put the $ in front of D as well, because then we would always look at that 10% cell. So let's just recap on that. Putting the $ in front of either a row or a column reference fixes it when you copy it to another cell. It doesn't change. If we wanted to continue on with this example and calculate the discounted price, we would simply select the cell that we wanted to enter the formula, put the equal sign, click on the first number, C3, minus sign, and the cell that's got our second number. And then we press enter. To copy that down quickly, we go to the bottom right hand corner and just double click, or we could have clicked and dragged. That completes your introduction to doing simple calculations in Excel.